welcome to the House of Hoosier podcast. I'm your host, AJ Guyton. As usual, I'm with a very special guest. There's not many guys that I just love watching playing back in the day. Play the game smooth, play the game easy, makes it look easy. I enjoy them kind of players because I thought that I played that way myself, man. I'm with the great Eric Gordon, who's joining me from vacation, which I want everybody to appreciate that. That don't happen very often. How you doing, EG?
All good, man. All good.
Appreciate it. How's the weather there so far?
Oh, it's pretty good out here. That's the reason why I came on out, just to get some good weather, hit a beach before I, get back to this long season.
Oh man, I know you gearing up, man. But I saw you starting to show face around IU a little more. Is that on purpose, or what's that about?
Well, yeah, I'm going down there a lot more because of my pizza business, but I definitely want to be around the program more, a lot more. I'm very excited about Coach Woody being there, and they got a great coaching staff, and I think they're just all about headed in the right direction. So I'm all for it, and I definitely want to be able to help in any kind of way, and I'm looking forward to see much success for the future.
Absolutely. I think the family is intact, man. I'm definitely going to get down there to support them. But I want to start off by just kind of you teaching me and diving into how you became EG, the Eric Gordon that we all know. How did it all start? I like to know for my personal, where you from, man? And what was it like in the area you grew up in coming up, as a youngster?
Well, everybody knows I'm from Indiana, and my dad dedicated this game to me, and I just took it and ran with it. Mm-hmm. And growing up in Indianapolis is basketball heaven. This is where basketball is, the competition is there. And I was a gym rat, played everywhere all across the city. Mm-hmm. I started more in the inner city. Everybody, if you was a big time baller, you definitely started at Municipal Gardens. Everybody knows about that place. And if you was most NBA players for sure out of Indianapolis came out of there. And and everybody knows I went to North Central High School. I think that's one of the better high schools in Indiana. Right. And I kind of took off from there and went to IU. Look forward. I mean, that was a dream of mine to really go to IU. Watching guys like yourself and a lot of good, Jared Jeffries and a lot of good teams that Bob Knight had. Yeah. And I just wanted to be a part of that. I knew I wasn't going to go anywhere far because I wanted my family to go to every game. And that's what I was looking forward to before I hit my dream job, and that's being an NBA.
Is it true that Mama Gordon, she's from the islands?
Yeah, my mom is from the Bahamas, right there in Nassau. Okay. So yeah, she's Bahamian.
How did that culture influence you, if any at all? Is it, are you a good cook? You food? Like how did that being from the islands influence you growing up?
Oh, influenced me big time. I love to fish, and that rubbed off on me. My mom was, passionate. She was a teacher, so she was passionate in school. She was passionate in, me going to the islands, and I loved it. I go there from growing up. I used to go there a few times a year, and now I'm making a habit where I go every month. Try to go every month, in the off season. So I really look forward to seeing family down there. So I, couldn't be better.
No, I know you did. And you had some brothers coming up, man. You had two younger brothers. What was that like coming up with them being underneath you? Was it competitive? Did it help you in your leadership drive? How did that have an impact on you coming up, knowing you got two younger brothers that are pretty much following in your footsteps with your dad leading the way?
Yeah, my brothers were very competitive. Aaron's the youngest, and Evan was the one who was 2 years behind me, who I was very competitive with. Mm-hmm. And, they're all successful. They all play college basketball, and Aaron is still there now. And, but I did get some toughness from my brother, Evan. That's how he played also, was tough. He was a good defender. He'll knock down the shot when needed, and he'll score when needed. But I think his best attribute was defense and toughness. And I think that was his best knack. And growing up with them, I couldn't ask for better brothers. They're very competitive and got me to where I want to be at, and they are as successful in their lives as well.
Are you ready? Are you ready to admit that one of them might be better than you at anything right now at this point?
I wouldn't. Hey, they can't touch on basketball. They might be able to touch on other things, but when it came to basketball, I was serious about it.
I got it. And your pops, man, your pops obviously a big impact in your life. He played at Liberty. Do you got to sit down and listen to all the stories about how good he was from him?
Yeah, for sure. Back when, I hear it all the time in the streets of Indiana where, he was great at high school, but then when he got to college, he really, even blossomed even more, big time shooter, but he played more of a forward for his size. So that's probably why, it didn't get to where he wanted to, to make it to the NBA. But I tell you what, he sacrificed his whole livelihood and as a parent to get me to where I wanted to go, and couldn't ask for a better dad. I mean, he made sure I got to where I want to be, and been playing in NBA 14 years. So, he's everything to me, and both my parents got me to where I needed got me to where I wanted to go. And my brothers, they're successful too. They, they went through the same thing I've been through. They both went to college and played ball. And so that's how the Gordon family worked.
Absolutely, man. And I'm sure that was a heck of a competitive family and fun family, because you start to enjoy that process of working, man. But before you got to high school, when did you know that you had a specific skill set? Obviously, the jump shot, the athleticism comes later. What did you do? Did you play with older guys? Did you work consistently on your jump shot? How did you get such a smooth jump shot at a young age?
Well, my dad, he was all about technique. I was always a really good shooter, but I was a great, supreme ball handler as a kid. Supreme. Really? Yeah, because my dad, he wanted me to make sure I was able to score at will and be able to handle that ball to get to the basket whenever I wanted to. So I would say he made sure I was a good ball handler early, and jump shot, it was all about technique, and he knew I was going to get to where I needed to go with that along the way. And I've always played up, never played my age until I probably got to my senior year of high school. I've always played a few years up. And when I was 10, 12 years old, I played against grown men, adults, so playing up I think is a method that all kids need to do. And times have changed, but I think the easiest way to get better is to be broke down and beat down by older people. And, because this is a game of basketball, is if you want to make it to the NBA, you got to learn you got to have a competitiveness to get to this level.
Absolutely. And so you talked about North Central, you talked about Municipal Gardens. Who were some of the names that you competed against in high school as you were playing up that were at that level that you can remember from back in those days in high school level?
I mean, countless. I mean, you got guys like, Greg Oden, Mike Conley. Growing up in the Municipal Gardens, you had boys and girls that play pro on both sides. There were just so many names. I mean, like I said, any girl, any guy that went pro grew up playing in the Municipal Gardens. I could go down the line.
Too many to name, huh?
Oh, like girl wise, I remember Ashley Barlow punking me back in the day. I remember Tashia Phillips. She these girls play pro ball, and they punked me back in the day. But you had guys, a lot of those guys that played at Pike, whether it was Robert Vaden, Jeff Tigg, and Courtney Lee. A lot of these guys played in those and Mike Conley, they all played in the Municipal Gardens growing up. So we've been familiar with each other since we were kids.
When y'all see each other on the NBA court, is it still 14 years later? Is it still like, dang, I'm here with my guys that I was battling with in Municipal Park? Like, is that y'all still kind of wink at each other and say, man, proud of each other?
Oh, no question. I think it's been like that every year since we've been in NBA, but I think we appreciate it more.
Absolutely
now. And those guys have great careers, and so it's definitely a blessing to each one of them, and hopefully they continue to keep going.
Absolutely. When did you realize that you were different Like I always tell people, it was about the game that I realized, like I'm a little bit different. I might need to take this to the next level. At what point did you think like, oh, I might be able to take this all the way?
I would say right before high school, right when I hit around that 7th, 8th grade, because
early,
growing up, I was much shorter than everybody. I was the shortest player on every team growing up. But when I hit that major growth spurt, when I was like in 8th grade, I think that changed the game for me because I had the skill, I had the ability to get to where I wanted to go on the floor. But when I grew into my body, that's when I really started taking off, jumping wise, athletic ability. So I had the whole package, and I thought my mentality was already there. So I think I was ready around 7th, 8th grade. That's when I knew I could be something.
Did you score like 30 on somebody? Did you dunk on somebody? Because I remember I got benched in the first half of a game. And I came in, I was so mad. I came in the second half, I scored like 21. I was a freshman playing varsity. And I scored. I was like, man, I might have something like this is. And from that moment on, everything changed. I don't know what happened, but I just had the confidence. Like, was it a moment that you could remember or just happened over time?
It just kind of happened over time. I remember what really gave me a big boost was when I was in 7th grade and I dunked in my in an AAU game, and that was a big booster for me. And I was like, man, I got to continue doing this all the time. But after that, I think that really. But then there was definitely times in high school where you're good, but when you know that you're starting to get double teamed and you got to start figuring out how to do different things, those are different obstacles that you had to overcome, and that makes you a better player as well.
Yeah. Hold on, you ain't gonna just gloss over that. So you dunked in a game in the 7th grade, man.
7th grade. I'll never forget. Went down the line in the middle. I was shorter. I had to have been about 5'8" around that time, and. Yeah.
And you got that on tape, man. I know Pops record everything. I know my daughter, I record everything she do. Like she's a little prospect, but I know Pops got to have that tape.
Oh yeah, he was for sure there. That was a game I will never forget because I shocked myself when I did it. I've been trying to dunk for forever. That was the best attribute. I thought that was a part of the game, and
right.
It was shock. I even shocked myself for sure.
Oh, man, make sure you probably waiting on a documentary for that one, but I got to see that. I bet that stuff look funny, man. But when did your recruitment begin to pick up? At what point did your recruitment start to really just catch on fire?
It caught on fire my freshman year of high school. I had just about every school probably right when I had freshman year, and I just wanted to take my time with it, just like everyone else. And but I knew I wasn't going to go far. I almost knew that I wasn't going to be within 100 miles from home. So I committed to Illinois early, and along the way, they had a coaching change in Indiana, and with Kelvin Sampson there, and I thought I might as well be even closer to home because my dream was always to go to IU, and so I'm glad I made that change to go there.
Absolutely. And I mean, you had a whirlwind between those two schools. You had a little whirlwind going on. What was it like? And I know you gave them major buckets when they was booing you when you went to Illinois. I know you had to do, what'd you end up with that game when they was booing or mad at you because you changed your mind?
It was around 20, but that game was very meaningful. Illinois was a school I never wanted to lose to when I went to IU. That was just one school I had to make sure I never lost to. Right. And when we go into Illinois, I knew that was going to be a crazy atmosphere and whatnot. But as long as we came off with a win, that's what really mattered. And how those people, how they acted, all the fans and whatnot, they just acted nuts and crazy, and I'm glad we overcame that.
Right. Was there any I have to ask this question, I'll ask everybody this question, any chance that you might have gone to Purdue?
No.
Okay. All right. Zero. Yeah. All right, cool.
No, it was, I was definitely not going to Purdue.
Before we move on to the Hoosier 10, let me tell you guys a little bit about our partners over at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. If you haven't signed up with Bet Rivers yet, now's the time. because they're offering a $250 match bonus for our first deposit. But what sets them apart is that they require just one play to turn your money into cash money. With their new Rush Pay instant approval, withdrawing your winnings is safer, more secure, and more reliable. With football season kicking off, get in on the action by going to betrivers.com today or by downloading the BetRivers iOS app. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. I just wanted to let you guys know about Field of 12 Media, a brand new podcast and digital media network covering college football by the people that know it best. Brought to you by Shoot Your Shot Productions, the folks behind the Field of 68. The Field of 12 gives you insight into the game we all love by the people that have lived it. Trevor Knight and Bryce Petty covering the Big 12. Josh Perry and Christian Hackenberg are covering the Big 10. Max Starks and Clint Starner own the SEC. We have Harry Douglas and Cody Sensenbaugh on the ACC. Check the links below to find all of the shows. The Field of 12, where college football happens. All right, man. So we meant to reach the middle segment called, and I'd like to ask you some questions called the Hoosier 10. 10 questions only us Hoosiers would be able to answer as former players, man. So the first question is, what dorm or apartment complex did you stay in on campus?
What was that? Asher, right next to Gresham. Afton, it was at Ashton.
Oh, okay. Austin gonna figure that one out for us.
I forgot myself.
I don't want to say it wrong, but I know what you're talking about. What's your favorite restaurant to eat when you go to Bloomington?
That's a tough one. Yogi's was up there. Yogi's was definitely one of my favorites.
Shout out to Yogi's. No, he said Ashton, but he said Ashton is not by Gresham though. That's what Austin said.
As what was right next to Gresham.
It was right next to Gresham. Go to the next question. What was your toughest matchup in the Big 10 that you can remember? Who gave you problems? You didn't stand that long, but you got a couple games. As a player, yeah.
Toughest matchup.
And you was like, man, dude, kind of nice. Like, give me, let me sit down on him for real. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Man, I'll tell you what, who was very good. We played at Xavier. Mm-hmm. It was between UConn and Xavier.
Okay.
UConn, that's when they had AJ Price and Stanley Robinson, and they had that big crew.
Yeah.
But they had this little guard from Xavier who he was, I can't remember his name, but he was a like 5'8" point guard. And he was a matchup nightmare for us. I just can't remember his name.
Look him up. Lawson, look up the Xavier point guard from back in Egypt.
Yeah, he was a handful for sure. And they, really those are the only teams that really beat us when Sampson was there. They gave us problems.
Oh man. What's your most memorable game?
Beating Illinois. That was the best. That was the most memorable. That was the best game for sure.
Answers itself. Toughest place that what out of the places you played where you was like, man, this crowd is on fire. This thing is loud. I'm about to shut them up.
Well, of course, Illinois had a hostile environment, but Wisconsin, to me, during that time, Wisconsin was a tough place to play in.
Yeah, I thought Wisconsin just bored you to death. It was almost like
it did.
It just put you to sleep, man. And by the time you wake up, it's a 6-point game, and it's going either way, man. So I tell people that all the time. Did Iowa have the pink walls when you was there?
No, Iowa wasn't. No, I would say the other teams that had just a crazy fan base that I can remember is Illinois, Michigan State.
Yeah.
Really those two.
Mm-hmm. Okay. He said Foster is next to Gresham.
Foster, that's where I stayed. Yep.
Okay. All right. We got that clear. Foster
Harper. You want me to throw some Xavier guards at you here and see if a name clicks?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Stanley Burrell.
Stanley Burrell was good.
Who?
Andrew Lavender. That's his name.
That's his name.
There you go.
We never forget, man. I'm telling you, we never forget. Like the ones that just you like, man, how do I figure this dude out, man?
Yeah.
Did you win at Purdue?
Huh?
Did you win at Purdue?
We did. We didn't actually play at Purdue. They came to us and we did beat them.
Okay,
Yeah, we didn't go to Purdue.
That's all that count.
Yeah.
The most memorable Kelvin Sampson moment.
Ooh, there was too many of them. whenever you really gonna catch Kelvin Sampson, being Kelvin Sampson acting at his highest level was at practice, man. He was really relentless at practice, man. Those practices are something for really fans to see.
Gee, I tell people all the time. I said people always because they always ask me about Bob Knight. I'm like, every coach is bananas at the college level. It ain't just him. Y'all might have caught him on a sound bite every now and then. Some coaches know how to be cool on the sound bites, but at practice, you'll see some stuff that you ain't supposed to report out. Like, I mean, it's just at every Tom Crean, Kelvin Sampson, whoever, even sometimes in the NBA, when they get frustrated, like it just is what it is, man. Get by their body, man. So I know you got plenty of them stories. Favorite IU player you would like favorite former or current IU player you would like to sit down and have a conversation with, and why?
Man, other than you, I would say and other than what, DJ White?
DJ White?
Yeah, man. That's my guy right there, man.
DJ
but if I had to go back into time, you got to either roll with like an Isaiah Thomas or a Keith Smart.
Right. You've never sat and chopped it up with Zeke or Keith and seen them in the, a crossing pass in the NBA?
Oh, for sure. I see those guys and talk to those guys all the time. Yeah.
I'm saying somebody you haven't talked to that you
haven't talked to.
Yeah.
I would say he was on the undefeated team. Benson.
Kent Benson? Oh,
Kent Benson.
A lot of us want to talk to Kent. Yeah.
I think he was interesting when you're picked that high and
I would say same team, but I would say Bobby Wilkerson. I mean, because he just disappeared. Like, I'm like, where Bobby? And I remember Coach Knight used to talk about him being the greatest defender ever in the program and the key to the 76 team. You can't find him. But he around here. I'm gonna find him though.
Right.
Favorite IU player to watch after you played?
After?
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough one. I would say either Oladipo or Zeller.
Zeller, yeah, I like watching Zeller, man. Zeller.
Yeah, Vic was exciting, but Zeller was a stabler too.
Exactly.
He was a big stabler for the team.
Yeah, I love watching Zeller and DJ White. I love watching DJ too. When you think of IU basketball, what player came to mind? Like anytime I think of IU basketball, immediately Steve Alford face pop in my head. Like I don't know why.
He's one. He's one.
It is like I see his face all the time. Like
yeah. Sometimes I would say like a guy like Jared Jeffers because he was an Indiana guy. He was born right there, and he's just like a Bloomington legend.
Yeah, definitely. All right, man, that concludes my Hoosier 10, man. We'll get them answers for you. I think we did get those answers for you, man. So dive into your Indiana career, man. You bust on the scene averaging 20 a game. You scored the most points ever as a freshman. Why was the game so easy for you as a freshman? I mean, my freshman year, I feel like I had a great freshman year. I only averaged like 13, 14 points a game, but you bust on averaging 21 a game and shooting 30-some% from 3-point line. Why was the adjustment so seamless?
Like I said, I was prepared. I did have a good coach who was on me every day, and he made me play both ends of the floor, and I think I was just ready. I knew what I had to do. I knew when I was going to get the ball, and you know, I knew we was going to have a good team, and it was just all up to me to just be ready. I knew I was the person that was always prepared before every game. So I wish I would have just never broken my wrist. If I would have never broken my wrist, I think my numbers would have even been better.
Right. Okay.
And but I rely upon the team, man. We had a good team.
You broke your wrist during the season and kept playing?
Broke my wrist, and I will never forget. I broke my wrist during practice on a rebound drill. I remember, Dr. Rink being there. Old Tim was there, and my dad told me, "Hey, we're gonna keep playing, man. You got to keep playing."
Man, was it your
So
shoe?
I was like, I played with a hard cast on and everything. It never wrapped around my my hand, but it did cover my wrist though, and we just kept on playing.
Oh, okay. Did you have to get that shot? I remember I broke my wrist. I got a shot, and every time
I think I did maybe once or twice, but other than that, we just let it roll.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's news to me. But y'all had a good team, jumped out to a 17-1 record. And then, I think Coach Kelvin gets let go during that time period. How did you feel about that? And at that point, did you feel like shutting it down because you knew you were a top level NBA draft pick? Like, you know what I'm saying? Or you keep going, or you ended up kept keeping going, but did you think about shutting it down?
That was the most disappointing part. I came there to play for them, and they let them go at the highest point when our team was really clicking on all cylinders. And still to this day, I still don't understand. Yeah, there's they say he had phone calls and whatnot, but who really knows? And it just came out of nowhere, and everybody on our team was confused. And looking back on it, it was just an unfortunate situation for all of us players, and they, it just made them look bad, and it seemed like IU went along with it to make them look bad in the whole season. Because I would love to be like, what I wish happened was let the season ride along and see how far we can go, and then maybe after the season, if you guys want to let them go then. But it just made everything look bad that year when people look back on that year.
Yeah, it set you guys back. You could tell because y'all was dominant, and that just kind of just stopped the train and try to start all over again at the wrong time of the year. But I always thought Kelvin was a great coach. He was my coach, one of my assistants at the Goodwill games, like back in '98 when we were got to know him, man. The phenomenal coach, and I was disappointed that he had got let go. How's your relationship with him today?
Still good, man. I always hope the best for him. He's turned around that Houston program, and
he right there in Houston with you. Yeah,
right so
that's crazy.
Him all the time. I for sure go to a game or two.
Definitely.
So I always check in with him.
Man, that's crazy how that works, man. He ended up right in the same city. I ain't think about that until you just said that. You rack up all the accolades and you bounce, man. Was it a no-brainer that you was leaving? Did you ever think about coming back? And because the way it ends, you don't like that taste, and you can, but then you like, man, this is once in a lifetime. What was your thought process as you thought about leaving early?
No, it was time to go. Of course, I would love to be at IU all 4 years, see how well I can do, and try to win a championship.
All the records. I'm glad you left. I get to hang up in there somewhere.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, your dream is to be an NBA player. And what I wanted to do, my time at IU, I definitely wanted to win a championship, but I didn't. We didn't achieve that. But I wanted to bring excitement. I wanted to be on a good team and create a winning mentality. And we did those. And, I just wanted to live up to the hype while we win also. And that's what I cared about. I definitely cared about winning. And that's what we did. And, but me going to the NBA, that was definitely a planned thing.
Hey man, you definitely accomplished what you went there to accomplish. Can't accomplish everything we want, but you're definitely one of the greatest ever leaders. So that's kudos to you, man. You get drafted, and you said you're going into your 14th year. You actually you're decompressing right now, getting ready to load back up for another year, man. At this point in your career, man, what goes on into your preparation? I know as a rookie, you just hype. You probably ready to go, but as a vet, you probably what goes into your preparation at this point in your career?
Well, as you get older, you got to be more strategic with your body. You got to be more strategic on the court, and it's all about actually, you have to do more. You have to work out more. You have to do things a lot more as you get older. That's the one thing people don't ever talk about. You might not go hard and go all out like you do as a kid, but you got to be strategic. And as you get older, it's all about being smarter on the court. Like if you're a scorer, score in a short amount of minutes in a time span. Like when I go into a game, I would love to rack up 15 points in the first half to where I don't really have to do much maybe in the second half. Just doing little things like that to where you can still be a game changer and be explosive. And at the end of the day, you're still showing that you're a good promising player within the game flow of the game.
Absolutely. And I mean, at this point, man, I know playing a championship is on your mind, man. And how are you thinking about that? Or are you just happy to be in NBA and finish out on a top note? Are you looking to at some point get to a contender and really contribute, get a chance to win an NBA championship?
Well, no, I mean, winning a championship is still the number one goal because that's a team goal, and you get recognized, and you hit the best of both worlds when you're a championship, as you playing at a high level as a player and as a for the fans. I mean, you get the best of both worlds as far as being a great player and get the recognition that you deserve, and that's what I definitely want still. And before I'm done playing, and that's just my number one goal, because I played for a long time and I just want to figure out how I can still win that championship.
And to be so close. I mean, you've been right there, man. I know that's some sleepless nights right there. You wake up and you got the championship, man. We was cheering you on against, Golden State Conference Finals and all that, man. So we definitely want you to get a ring and finish that mug on top of the mountain. So keep pushing that. And Kobe Bryant, man, you one of the rare guys. I actually was in a class with Kobe. I got to play with him a little bit in LA. What is your thoughts on him and his impact on the game, and even the impact of his death on everyone around the league? And because I feel like him passing, it brought the NBA family a lot closer. I don't know. It was weird. It was like him, because everybody realized that life is short. And, Kobe was like invincible. And for him to be gone, I think everybody kind of woke up a little bit. What has it been like, life against Kobe and life after Kobe in the NBA?
Man, I'm telling you, when he passed, man, that really shook. I mean, it didn't just shook me, it shook everybody. And it was just hard to believe. He's just an iconic man he was just different than everybody, as a guard, I look at him almost similar to Jordan, monumental pillar of a guy that worked hard and brought a difference to the game. And because I'll tell you what, every time you gone against him, he was gonna bring it, and you had to bring your A game against him, or because he likes to talk crazy. He hits the toughest of shots. And I know I'm a good defender and I get physical with guys, and with him, it didn't matter. You just gotta hope he takes a bunch of shots and misses. And he was the ultimate competitor. And the league's going to definitely miss a guy like him. And the toughest thing to see was him after basketball, him being more of a family man, he was impactful for the words that he was saying, and, trying to help a lot of people, and bringing, the women's game, bringing more notoriety to them, So that kind of shows you the kind of person he really is, not just some tough, hard guy on the court all the time.
Yeah. I mean, did he have any words for you on the court? Did he talk trash to you at all?
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, Kobe, he brought me on to we had the same agent, so we always stayed in contact a lot of the times. And yeah, he always liked to talk crazy, always. I remember he told a reporter to tell me, why should I even guard him when I'm only 6'3", 6'4"? I was like, why would you ask him that? Why would you even listen to this guy at the time? It was just funny, but
yeah, you're good, dude.
Hey, he is the ultimate competitor.
Hey man, that's definitely the truth. Shout out Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, man. And one thing I did notice though, and I kind of when I'm looking at the college game, because a lot of kids are leaving early without even having the ability of an Eric Gord or somebody that's already just know there's going to be top 10, top 15, man. And I think it's kind of hurting the college game a little bit because we're losing on these kids that should be in college. And now I don't know I have no idea where they're going. What advice would you give some of those young guys who are on that line, of trying to leave college early? What advice would you give them to make the best decision possible for themselves?
Well, to me, you still have to go step by step. Like with me, I wanted to be a good college player, like a really good college player. And I wasn't going to go to the NBA if I wasn't a lottery pick, because if I felt like if I wasn't a lottery pick, then I might not be prepared enough. And, to me, if you're going to be once you're in high school, be a good high school player. When you get to college, be a really good college player. And then, because when you get to the NBA, it's business. I mean, it's business. The NBA is a job. It's not like how college is, where you got all these colleges hyping you up, getting you prepared and all that. No, when you're in the NBA, they got a role for you, and you got to figure it out and maintain that. And it's a job, and you got to really hone in and focus in on what you need to do, because it's a big game and life changer.
Right. Hey, I heard it from him, man. That's EG telling you, giving you guys advice on how to make the best decision possible for yourself. Last part, man, let's move into, today, the new IU. You mentioned Woody a little bit. You mentioned the coaching staff, Dane Fife, and those guys, man. How did you react when you heard that Mike Woodson was going to be hired? Because I have been hearing over that little month, whatever period that was, I heard so many names. I had people calling me like I had insight. I'm just sitting there like, man, I just wanted a former player. I really didn't. We have plenty that qualify. Keith Smart. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wanted to see Keith in that position. I thought Keith was perfect, but then I didn't even think of Mike Woodson. They really kind of got the same resume. So it was like, cool, whichever one it is. What did you think about, and how did you react inside when you heard about Mike Woodson being hired?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think Mike would be. I didn't think he would be in college, because he's been in NBA so long, and he's had much success on the NBA level. I've seen him take a Knicks team to being the number one seed in the East. I've seen him take Atlanta to being one of the best teams for a long time. So he had much success, and I think Indiana is an interesting one for him, and I think it's going to be good. You can't find a better candidate, because when you want to get these if you want to get these big time talents, they're going to want to know. They're going to want to go with a guy that has been there, done that, and knows how to get you there. And he's been that. He's been an All-American. He's played college at the highest level. He was a pro himself, and now he's a pro coach and done well. I mean, you just can't reach nothing better.
Right, definitely. What do you think about this year? The IU guys that are there, the Christian Landers and the Trace Jackson Davises. What are your kind of projections? What do you think about the team coming year?
Well, I still think they still have a little ways to go. But to me, what will show progress this season, really, to me, is just make it to the tournament. I don't care how you get there, what's your record. As long as you get there, I think that would be a good progress, because, they ain't been there in a while. And they do have a good mix of younger and older guys. And to to me, this is just a year for them to really rise to the occasion. Yeah. Everybody has to get a little better. A lot of these young guys got a year under the belt. It's really time to rise up to the occasion now.
Yeah, definitely. Last two questions, man. What type of businesses are you involved in that you would want people to go look at, support, or if any, that you would like to kind of mention here on this podcast?
Well, yeah, everybody knows about my Greek's Pizzeria down in Bloomington, right across the street from the football stadium. Yeah. You can't miss it. Everybody, pizza. I love pizza, and hopefully it can continue to grow down there. Okay. And the next business venture that I haven't even really hyped up yet, and I'm about to start getting into vacation rentals. I think I'm going to do something that's different than most people. I'm trying to make it very luxury but do something that a lot of people don't have. Right. And I'm going to mostly do it in the islands in Mexico. Awesome. And yeah, but I'm already getting a head start, and give me a year or two when these houses are already, built. I'll have a good head start.
Absolutely. I already see. I was going to ask you what I don't really like asking that question to guys that are still playing, because I don't like to get them thinking about that. But you kind of mentioned it already, what you're headed into as your career starts to wind down, man. And I just came back from, I think, Puerto Vallarta, probably. Yeah. It was a brand new place, man. I did not want to come back to the crib. I'm just telling you. Right. So when you said you was there, I just got a little moment of jealousy, man. I was like, dang, because my mind was just free, man, and everything is just awesome in those resorts. So I think that's gonna be a dope investment. So make sure you guys support that, man. And finally, man, you're kind of a mystery guy. You're not on social media a lot. You don't flex a lot. You don't flaunt a lot. What does Eric Gordon like to do in his personal time? What's a relaxation other than flying to the islands? What's a good relaxation for you, man?
Well, I hang out with my friends. I do vacations. I got two young boys, twin boys. Yeah, twin boys, man. Now it's time for me to put some real work in to get them to where I want to get them to on my level. And
how old?
So they're two twin boys. Dang. Yeah, man. So
big time.
Yeah, you appreciate it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got my hands full with them. So spending time with them, definitely, vacationing and whatever I can do in the off season. That's always fine. But I'm really locked in the season. I'm a gym rat. I love watching the games, different games outside of my own. Yeah. And I just focus and work on my body also.
Awesome, man. And hey, man, there's only three people that I thought, really that I love to watch. I had a game that was smoother than mine. It was Calvert Chaney, Jay Edwards, and Eric Gordon. So, man, a big time talent, big time career, man. Keep going. Get to that contender. I know we can't talk about that a lot. Right. Get to that contender. So we can see you on that stage one more time, man, and bring another ring to IU, man. So I'm gonna let you get back to your vacation. Thank you for joining us on the House of Hoosier podcast, man. And I'll be down there. I don't know about you, but I'm be down at Hoosier Hysteria October 2nd. I'm gonna soak something. I'm gonna check out the Greek Pizzeria, man. I ain't know nothing about that. So let them know that I'm be sliding through that Saturday, man. So
for sure. I'll have it ready for you, man. Yes, I'll have it ready.
Appreciate you, brother. Enjoy your vacation, man. And thank you.
All right, thanks, dude. Thanks, man.